Over the decades I've hunted deer, I've managed to work out almost exactly where the deer move and why. Gaining this invaluable knowledge has allowed me to put myself right where I need to be, to get up close and outsmart these amazing animals in my quest to hunt them. Over the last winter, I spent a lot of time going back to one particular area. An area of multiple systems and of almost impossible country to negotiate. Why? Because of an old mate, a stag that I named Henry 4 years ago would now be at his peak. And if I could find him, he would be displaying an absolutely incredible set of antlers. Over the past 5 years, I have only seen him 3 times, and knowing that I may never see him again, I still let him go, to allow him to reach his full maturity and maximum potential. By far, he was the smartest, most willy stag I've ever known. He would virtually never come out unless it was dark, and it took all of my knowledge and extreme efforts just to see him these few times. To me, an animal that has managed to escape danger and live this long in such a heavily hunted area deserves to be hunted the right way. In fair chase, or not at all. In fact, I decided I was only going to bow hunt the stag, and I knew that the chances of taking him with the bow was extremely minimal, but in my mind, it was the right thing to do. Well, this is pretty much a whiteout, and unless you know where the deer are travelling and you can sit somewhere and wait for them, you're pretty much wasting your time. Not only that, it gets dangerous. I mean, look at it, it's actually darker than what it's showing right now on this camera. But yeah, trying to get back, you get completely whited out and you don't know where you're going. I'm sure I've got to head up this hill and to the left a bit somewhere, but it's a lot more harder now because I don't have mountains to go off, or the sun to go off, or the moon to go off. So I'll walk back and just maybe look for antlers or something, head back, but that's the end of the hunt for the evening. There's not much I can do about it. It's really come in and just taken over. It's just too dangerous. It's just not worth it. Honestly, it's not worth it. Just go back and hunt in the morning. When nothing else seems like it's going your way, you can sometimes stumble across a trophy of another kind that restores belief in yourself and where you are hunting. Shortly after, I heard the birds going off in the distance and went to investigate. Unfortunately, my wind had already been travelling towards the area, and when I approached from below, I walked straight up to a wallow, and it was clearly apparent that the stag was just using it. He had for surely gotten my scent and had taken off. With all the water recently filling the wallow and the area around it, it was almost impossible to make out the tracks to give me an indication of the size of the stag. I also discovered another wallow just 30 metres away and was able to see the direction the stag vacated to. I did try and follow up that stag, but the wind was totally in his favour, so I left him be for another day.
You know, beautiful plains like this that have a wallow on the side of them, just like this one, they're a perfect place for finding antlers. It just has all the good things that deer would need to be hanging around. All the food you want, the meeting point for the deer, and you know, when the stags are going between scrapes and wallows and everything, having a nice feeding area in between is pretty much perfect, so they'll always kind of return back there to drop their antlers. Now that antler I found yesterday, what a really fine specimen that is. Both the tops are just perfect, and the bottom brow is perfect too, and the best thing about it is the top tine and the bottom brow are the same size. That is extremely rare. I've only ever seen that in one other deer, and that is that one stag that I shot at 214 point that is taken in the Solo Sambar Hunter movie. So I'm pretty much dropped everything else, and I'm not really looking for that deer at the moment because he's still I'll give him about another 1 or 2 years to grow, because in that he's probably, I don't know, maybe 27. If you can get him to 30 like that, he'd be absolutely magical if no one else shoots him. And the thing is, when I found that antler on the ground, yeah, just heard a deer honk. Geez, how nice is it to have warm binoculars for once, sitting in the sun, nice and warm. Well, there's a good idea. Anyone out there who makes binoculars, how about making a heated pair of binoculars? As long as it doesn't add too much weight, that would be magical. But yeah, getting back to that antler, I'm just going to suss out this whole area and try and work out. I'm not going to bother looking for the deer. I'm just going to try and work out what they're doing, you know, where they're coming from, where they're going to, where they're feeding and everything, so I can work out, and next time I come here I can work out how to hunt it and everything. But I'll teach you all that anyway in the Sambar Hunter Hunting Course, any of you guys that are interested. But from here, I think what I'll do is get back to the creek and start the huge hike back up to the car. Oh, what a cracker day, seriously. This is absolutely magical. This plain is beautiful. I've never been here before, and it's just so nice to find something like this. You know, I'll probably have a little kip for a little bit. It's past 11 o'clock now, and then cruise around and back up the mountain to see where I get to. What a day.
In 2013, I embarked on one of the most enduring and incredible solo hunting expeditions of my life, during which I endeavoured to truly capture the whole hunting experience through good and bad times, and remarkably take one of the most perfect Sambar stags this country has ever seen. Join me on this amazing journey, which not only depicts a hunter's life, but also inspires and teaches you all about Sambar hunting along the way. This film is truly a must-watch for every keen hunter.
Okay, so I'm just going to hike out to this spot not too far away so that I can get up closer to where I want to start in the morning. And I just should make note though of what I'm going to be doing here, because it seems that since I turned 45 I'm just getting injured all the bloody time. And it's not because I'm clumsy or my body's deteriorating or whatever, but I think I've just seen too many adventurous sports. You know, surfing, snowboarding, mountain biking, and the after having the fusion done to my spine, it seems like it hasn't fixed the problem, and it's the one below it that's causing more of the issues. So I've got pain going down my shoulders, and on top of that, I crashed my mountain bike and I've torn my AC. You can see it sticking up there, and I can't lift that shoulder up very much, but I can only carry out so much. So it's either going to have to be something close to the road or something really big that I'm going to have to put in an effort for and deal with the pain after getting it out. So we're just going to make note on that, but I'm still going to go for it. We're still going to go hard as we can, and we're still going to see some deer. Okay, it's the next morning. I got up before dark. I've been travelling for almost 2 hours now. Got up here to where I think the deer are going to come up and go through this spot and back down around the corner. I haven't been here before, but it looks like there's tracks and stuff coming through here. So this is the plan with the bow, to just sit here now, too noisy to walk around, and just wait for the deer. Hopefully they come up and go, so the wind's blowing perfectly. If it continues like this, it'll be awesome. I've got my little spot here. Just looking out right along, and the deer should be coming through here. So I've cleared the ground, so there's no noise. Take some bearings with my rangefinder, and then we'll just sit and wait and rug up and sit and wait. I hope this one works out, I really do.
It is really important to rug up early before you get cold, as trying to make your body warm again when you are cold is much harder when you are sitting still. Also, you don't want to be moving and putting clothes on when the deer come past. Almost 2 hours later, it goes without saying that for a bow hunter, prediction is the absolute key to hunting sambar. This stag appeared almost exactly where I expected the deer to come past. As I watched him feed his way slowly through the bush, I knew he'd soon be out of range. I could not take a shot from where I was, and was too exposed to try and get close without him taking off. So as I've done before, I decided to work on this stag's inquisitive side, get him to come to me.
stag into 8 metres. That was my first really good chance of being able to video a stag and take it with the bow. And I let him walk. It's first day here. I know I probably should have shot him, but I'm enjoying it too much. And I'm really, really far away. And to carry him out from here with my shoulders the way they are right now and my neck, I would really struggle. That was awesome though. I brought him right in. I just grabbed the stick. He was far and just started rubbing the tree. And then rubbing the tree. It just... So he'd think it was another deer or something. And he came right into here. To 8 metres. They're so inquisitive, Sambar. They're unbelievably how inquisitive they are. Hopefully something else is going to come up still, but it'll be coming now, so I've got to get back into position right now. That was awesome. What a great morning. Seeing that stag up close. No, they could have taken him, but didn't. Same time, I'm kind of glad now I didn't, because it would have been a mission to get him out of here. It's 9:30 now, so it's getting a bit on. Usually I stop about 9:30. Deer are usually bedded by then. And try and back your way out of where you are without disturbing it, so you can always come back. Anyway, hunt last night, saw stag. Hunt this morning, another stag. Haven't seen one doe yet, which is strange. But I'm so glad that sun's out. I'm trying to warm myself up now. Hands are frozen, legs are frozen. Your nose is frozen even though it's been in this. It is just perfect at the moment. I haven't seen one other car, one other person, which is strange, but pretty secluded at the moment. I just love hunting so much, you know, just being out here and just being able to just do this, just put yourself where the deer are. I knew I thought with this wind, they're all in that system, and I thought they're going to want to get out of that system with the wind going in there. So I figured if I sit here, they'll come out of the system straight over here and go and bed behind the back. And that's exactly what that stag done. It's a bit hard to sort of predict where he's going to be, especially when you're shooting with the bow. You've only given yourself 40 metres that way and 40 metres that way, and he was 40 metres. He came out exactly 40 metres that side there, walked along, and then walked all the way. When he saw me, I couldn't believe he saw me, because he still didn't know what I was. I was fully covered, and I was right down, but I was leaning over to get my camera and try and film him. And I was still only, you know, really low, but just all I did was just move this much. You know, just only that little bit much, and pretty slowly too, and he still noticed me and wanted to come in to see what it was. When he got to here, about just by that tree, about 8-9 metres, he like got my little whiff of me, I think, and he just took off up the hill there, and he stopped at the hill there and turned around and started stomping again, and then he slowly made his way back. But bringing them in, you know, bringing deer in, like, I kept this stick right next to where I am, and all you do is just rub the tree, thrash the bushes, just like deer do. Just thrash it. Can you hear that noise? just make it sound like a stag's rubbing it. That same noise that you hear when a deer actually does it. They don't hold back. When they want to thrash, they thrash. So don't be afraid. You've got nothing to lose. At the end of the day, you've seen that deer. He's walking away. You're going to lose him with the bow. You're going to lose him. So you've got nothing to lose. Just try anything you want. Make funny noises, whatever it is. Keep yourself right down low. If you stand up, he sees the human form, you're done. If he smells you, you're done. But otherwise, let him come in. He'll be inquisitive. Whatever deer it is, female, male, whatever, they'll be inquisitive. They'll want to know what's there, what's going on. So, like I said, you've got nothing to lose. Have a go. At the end of the day, I filmed that stag. I definitely could have shot him. He was just there. But where I am, it's going to be too hard for me to get him out from here. And yeah, it would have been a great video on video, but at the end of the day, I'm taking the life of an animal, and I don't want to waste the animal's life and his meat just for a video. That's not what I'm about, so it'll happen. I've shot plenty of deer. I'm here to enjoy myself and really feel that adrenaline of hunting up close like that is just awesome. So I've had a great morning. It's time to head back. So glad that sun's out because I'm bloody freezing and I've got to go.
When the sun comes out in the morning and shadows form throughout the bush, it makes it very difficult to make out deer. The Rut Hunter sunglasses have been made specifically with the right lenses, fully polarized to cope with these conditions and allow you to make out animals and movement much easier. They are super clear, super comfortable and complete with box and cleaner, weighing at just 70 grams. Throughout my time of watching deer from a distance, I've noticed that stags rarely, if ever, really want to fight each other with killing the other in mind. Most of the time it is more of a friendly push and shove to show who has the dominance. The only time the stags will actually fight full on with each other is when they are approximately the same size, and there is a reason for it to happen. For instance, in this picture we can see a stag well up behind this female that tells us that she is ovulating and an estrus. Stags smaller than this stag will not attempt to fight him for her. But when a stag around the same size comes along and there is something they both want, they'll first look at each other and size each other up, and then if they think they can win, it's on. Eventually one of them must give up or fight to the death, and in this case the challenging stag decides it's not worth it and leaves, leaving the slightly bigger stag to retain his position with the female and continue his attempts to mate with her.
You know, over time I've seen a lot of weird and funny things in the bush, but I've never seen a tree grow on a ball sack.
All year that stag was on my mind. His home territory covered kilometres of area that was almost impassable at times. Even still, I did my best to get close to where I thought he was hanging out, which meant pushing it to the limits and a few close calls at times. During my hunts, I did, however, come across a few cool things. On one evening, returning to camp,
Don't know if you guys can see me or not. I'm just walking back along this road, and this stag, beautiful looking stag, just walked out on the road right in front of me right here, and then it just like stopped, and then it looked at me, and then it just turned and looked at that cliff there, right in front of it, and it just bounded up that cliff in one kick. Look at the height of that. I don't know if you can see it or not because it's pretty dark, but that's got to be 10 foot up there, and he's just kicked and just boom, boom, straight up onto the top. Unbelievable. Such a beautiful stag. About 25, 26, ginger red. Absolutely beautiful looking deer. I'll have to come back another day and try and get him.
And one of my trail cameras witnessed just what damage wild dogs do to the Australian wildlife. Lucky for this wombat, 2 days later, he was all fine. Each time I'd head up the mountains, I'd only have a few days to try and locate old Henry. Trouble was, by the time I had some idea of which system he was in, I had to return home. By now the sign was drying up, and I hated to admit it, but I knew he was not around anymore. Why? Well, he's either done for the year, or one of the thermal culling, long bombing shooters have taken him from the road. It was a hard year, and yes, if I had decided to take him with a gun from longer distances, yes, I probably would have at least had a chance at seeing him, and maybe taking him. But my decision was made. He deserved to live on, and I hope that he does.